অভিভূত, ভীষণ আহ্লাদিত এবং তার চাইতে বড় কথা হচ্ছে আমি আসলে ভীষণ আনন্দিত এই সার্ভ হিউম্যান ফাউন্ডেশনের একটি ক্ষুদ্র অংশ হতে পেরে। তার কারণ আসলে শুধুমাত্র যে আপনাদের সাথে আলাপ করা বা নানান কিছু আপনাদের সাথে শেয়ার করা তাই নয়, আসলে বিষয়টি হচ্ছে যে আমিও আপনাদের কাছ থেকে আসলে নানান কিছু নানান ভাবে জানতে পারছি। আর এই শেখা এবং শেখানো এই দুটি ব্যাপার হচ্ছে আসলে পারস্পরিক একটা অন্য রকমের একটা সম্পর্কের জায়গা থেকে তৈরি হয়। এটা আসলে যেমন কেউ কাউকে জোর করে শেখাতে পারেন না, কারোর উপর কিছু চাপিয়ে দেওয়া যায় না, ঠিক একইভাবে আবার জোরপূর্বক কোনো কিছু নেওয়াও যায় না এবং আসলে কোনো কিছুকে ধারণও করা সম্ভব হয় না। তো সব দিক থেকে আমি মনে করি যে আসলে আমি ভীষণ সৌভাগ্যবান যে আমি অন্য একটা পরিবেশে বেশ কিছু নতুন মুখ এবং পুরনো হয়তো কিছু মুখ মিলিয়ে আজকে আবার আপনাদের সাথে একত্রিত হতে পেরেছি। ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে। তো প্রথমেই আমি যে অনুরোধটি করব সেটি হচ্ছে যে অনুরোধ মুহসিন ভাই এবং আমাদের হোস্ট সার্ভ হিউম্যান ফাউন্ডেশনের হোস্ট যে রিকোয়েস্টটি করেছেন যে আপনাদের আসলে কিছু বলবার থাকলে আপনারা হ্যান্ড রেইজ করবেন, আর আসলে আজকে আপনারাই বেশি বলবেন, আমি কম বলবো। তো কাজে আমি জানি না যে আসলে হ্যান্ড রেইজ করবার এই বিষয়টা কতখানি এবং কতক্ষণ পর্যন্ত কার্যকর থাকবে, কারণ আমাদের এটা আসলে কোনো ক্লাস না। আমি কিন্তু আজকে কোনো ক্লাস নিচ্ছি না, আজকে আমরা একটা ডিসকাশন করব। তো চেষ্টা করবো আমরা ডিসকাশনটা পুরোপুরি ইংরেজিতে করবার জন্য। সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমি আপনাদের সবার অনুমতি নিয়ে শুরু করছি, এবং শুরু করছি বলতে আসলে তেমন কিছুই না, আমি অফিসিয়ালি ছোট্ট একটু ভূমিকা দিয়ে আসলে আমরা বিভিন্ন উপায় এবং পদ্ধতি যেটি আজকের বিষয় সেটি নিয়ে আলাপ করব। সো shall we start in English? What do you think?
Yes, madam.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Now, let me share my screen first. Now tell me, can you see the screen? Is
Yes,
it visible?
Madam. Yes,
okay,
madam.
That's great.
It is visible.
That's great. Well, if I stop my video, okay. So as you know that today our topic is how we can enhance our English speaking skills. How? And I believe almost all of you actually are very curious and eager to know some strategies or techniques regarding how we can enhance our English speaking skills. Am I right? Are we all here to develop our English speaking skills? Probably that is the reason why we are here today. English speaking skills.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I know that is the reason
Yes,
for
ma'am.
which we all are here today. Thank you so much for your responses. Now, as you know that I am Afroza Akhtar Tina. I teach at the Department of English at Daffodil International University. I'm also a certified advanced TESOL practitioner and an e-teacher alumna of the US Department of State, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Well, why did I mention all these? Why did I mention that I'm an e-teacher or I am an advanced TESOL practitioner? Well, there's a reason behind this. And well, it has a connection with the session today. Obviously, it has a connection with the session today. Well, this e-teacher and TESOL practitioner, all these terms, you know, reflect the idea that I can at least deliver, or I can at least give you something, and well, also receive something from you. Now, whenever we think of giving, actually students feel, I mean, learners like you or participants like you feel that, well, ma'am is going to probably give us a lot of things, a lot of ideas. I mean, so many things. But when it comes to teacher, well, we often get confused. But the thing is, today, obviously, I'm going to take something from you as well. And that will be your feedback. Okay, so keep this in your mind that at the end, probably ma'am will receive feedback from us. Now, as we all are here to develop our English speaking skills, well, There are thousands of ways, and well, there's no ending of this discussion. You know, we can talk so much about this topic, but I would like to focus on three specific things today. Three, only three, you know. I would focus on only three techniques today through which we can actually practice, even sometimes on our own. Because what is the practical scenario in our country? More specifically in your context, maybe you can say that, ma'am, there isn't any way to practice speaking in our home. Maybe our parents don't speak in English at home. Maybe you may also say that, ma'am, even our friends are not that much cooperative when it comes to English speaking. So, you know, there's, I mean, that kind of tendency. The people usually try to avoid English. But if we avoid English, if we don't start speaking in English, then obviously what would happen? Obviously, we won't actually be able to enhance our skills. So that is why my focus today would be on three specific ideas. And the very first one is we can always talk looking at a picture. So this one, describing a picture. Whenever we would see a picture, whenever we get a picture, believe me, we can talk about it. We can talk about it, and this speech or this kind of talk actually requires critical thinking as well. Critical thinking. Well, yes, of course, that is also important when we think of developing our speaking skills. Critical thinking skills. আগে চিন্তা করতে হবে, তারপরে কিন্তু কথা বলা। খেয়াল করে দেখবেন, চিন্তা ছাড়া কথা বলা সম্ভব কিনা? Of course not. Now, what does a picture usually do? If someone gives us a picture in front of us and requests us to speak or to tell us something about that picture or to describe that picture, that what would happen? Obviously, we would look at the picture thoroughly. We'd look at each and every aspects of that picture. And that happens actually. That is a very usual thing. And what about the other things? I mean, can you say that, ma'am, I can explain or describe a picture without looking at it very carefully or, I mean, ignoring all the, you know, aspects of the picture? Well, of course, it's not possible. So this is important. And this requires a lot of skills, actually. Now, in terms of describing pictures, well, there are something which we should do. I mean, I would request all of you at this moment to look at this specific slide carefully, because here I have mentioned three specific points. So whenever we are about to describe a picture, then we should keep these three things, at least these three things in our mind. And the first one, look at the picture carefully and take a moment to think before you start talking. So please think before talking. Thinking is important before talking. And number two, talk for all the time you're given. For example, if I request you to speak for 2 minutes, and if you stop, you know, after 1 minute, then how would I feel? Or how would the observer feel? Of course, you still won't feel that good because you were given 2 minutes and you stopped after 1. তার মানে আপনাকে যেই সময় দেওয়া হবে আসলে কথা বলবার জন্য, সেই পুরো সময়টা ইউটিলাইজ করতে হবে। ধরেন আমি আপনাদের বললাম এই ছবি দেখে 2 মিনিট কথা বলতে হবে এবং আপনি হয়তো 50 সেকেন্ড পর বা 1 মিনিট পর থেমে গেলেন, তাহলে কি হবে? It reflects that you don't have more ideas actually. You can't speak more. You actually haven't been through that picture so carefully, and that's why you stopped. So that is also important. We need to utilize every second. And finally, thinking before speaking. Thinking before speaking is also important. And in relation to this, we'll have to look at each and every part of the picture, each and every part. So please don't forget that a picture may have a lot of parts, different parts. So we can't ignore, and we need to utilize the entire time properly. Now, if I move on, well, let us see what we can't do actually. There are some don't things which we can't do while describing a picture. And what are they? Please don't panic if you don't know the words for all the things in the picture. Sometimes you may say that, ma'am, well, you have given us a picture on which, well, we find so many things, unfamiliar things. হতে পারে না যে আমি আপনাদের এমন একটা ছবি দিলাম যে ছবির ম্যাক্সিমাম জিনিসের সাথে আপনার পরিচিতি নাই, then what would you do? Would you panic? No, of course not. We can't panic. Rather, what to do actually? Well, you don't need to know all the words for everything in the picture, because every time whenever we see, I mean, unfamiliar words, we get an unfamiliar context, you know. The thing is, we need to guess. So guessing is important. Guessing in relation to the context, guessing is important. তার মানে চারপাশের পরিবেশ আবহ বিবেচনা করে guess করা জরুরি, because it's not possible to know each and every word. It's impossible. Okay. Now the next point, we can't get distracted. So please don't get distracted and start talking about something else. That's also important. You know, sometimes when I did this activity with the other students, I mean, outside my university, then I found in most of the cases that, well, learners often get distracted. They, you know, sometimes talk about something else, which is not actually connected or relevant with the picture that I showed them. So yes, we need to actually be very focused. And yes, of course, the final point, don't panic if your mind goes blank. We all can take a deep breath, look at the picture again, and then start again. Well, this may also happen. Suddenly, if I give a picture and request you to say something or to explain the picture, and you suddenly feel that, well, I'm blank actually. I can't say anything. I don't have anything in my mind. Then obviously what to do? Can we panic? No, of course not. Rather, be relaxed, take a deep breath, look at the picture, and then start. Okay, so there's always scope to start again and again. That was the entire thing which I wanted to discuss with you. And now it's your turn. এবার কিন্তু আপনাদের পালা. Why? Because now I'm going to show you a picture. One of my very favorite pictures. এখন আমি ছবি দেখাবো আপনাদের, আমার খুব প্রিয় একটা ছবি। এই ছবি দেখে ছবিটা describe করতে হবে। And obviously we try to maintain some, we try to look at some do's. এই যে আমরা একটু আগে দেখলাম এই স্লাইডে কি কি করতে হবে একটা ছবি দেখে কথা বলবার আগে। Well, please keep these all in your mind. So I'll be showing the picture soon, shortly, and I would like to give you 1 minute. আমি 1 মিনিট সময় দেব। 1 মিনিটের মধ্যে you'll have to think, চিন্তা করতে হবে। Well, you may also, you know, jot down some important points if you want, if you have pen and paper in front of you. And then I would request you to speak. I mean, describe the picture within 2 minutes. So I'm going to give you actually 2 minutes to describe the picture and 1 minute to think. I repeat, after showing you the picture, I'm going to give you 1 minute to think and 2 minutes to speak. So is the instruction clear to everyone, or should I repeat? What do you think?
Yes, clear.
Is it clear? Okay, that's great. So shall we see the picture? One of my most favorite pictures.
Yes, sure, ma'am.
This is the picture. Can you see everyone? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. Now please think for 1 minute. Think for 1 minute, and after that you have 2 minutes to speak. And this is one of my favorite pictures, actually, favorite snaps. So I'm waiting 1 minute very quickly. Please think. And there are a lot of participants over here today. I'm very happy to have you all with me today. And I also can see some of my students of Daffodil International University over here. Thank you so much, my dear students, to join this session. And thank you so much, all the participants of Serve Human Foundation. I'm so happy actually to be with you today. Will not more than 40 seconds. Oh, yes, 30. Time is going on very quickly. Probably Oli raised his hand. Oli wants to start. Am I right, Oli Ahmed? Oli raised his hand. Jurul Hassan, Mahajabin Firdaus. Very good.
Yes.
So
Yes,
who's going to start voluntarily? Tell me. We can start.
Yes, ma'am. Can I start now?
So,
am I audible,
yes,
ma'am?
of course. Yes, of course. Clearly, we can hear you. Please mention your name and then please describe the picture within 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. This is Mahazabin Firdausmin, and I'm doing my BS degree. So let's talk about the picture. First of all, this seems to be very interesting, and it's a public place as all we can see, and I think it's art. Like the magic here seems to be some kind of magic. It's like two people are invisible, and in front of them there is a box with the, I think it's saying that we need some help. I think it's not perfectly clear. And beside this, some passers-by are just walking. They're looking at them because it's almost invisible. It seems to be invisible. Like we can see the background from their face. And there is a parrot, and it's interesting too. I can see a bird. And I think it is also enjoying the art. It's from my perspective. This is a public place. They are enjoying their art. They're showing their art to other people. The passers-by are going through they're enjoying it. It's totally an art, and I think it's also a form of entertainment.
That's great. So wonderful. So wonderful, Mahjabin. That's so well, you were very close actually. So amazing to hear you because you were almost there actually. And you know, whenever we describe a picture, the basic idea is there's nothing like, you know, clear or unclear kind of thing. I mean, whenever we get a picture and whenever we are, you know, asked to describe that specific picture, actually there's nothing to, I mean, be worried regarding what's unclear or what's clear in the picture. The thing is, whatever things are in front of me, actually I'll have to explain that. And wonderful. Will Mahjabin mention the setting according to her point of view? Mahjabin mentioned that probably it's a public place. And apart from that, she mentioned that this is, I mean, art, not an art, actually, maybe a form of art. Maybe that is the term that Mahjabin wanted to, I mean, mention, a form of art, maybe. And maybe it was also, you know, kind of magic or something like that. And she also mentioned about a specific box in front of, I mean, this specific form of art. So yes, there are a lot of information, but Will, who is going to describe the picture next according to his or her point of view? Thank you, Mahjabin. So who's next, Rakib or Noreen or Orchuna?
Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
I think I speak, ma'am?
Okay, let us start with Rakib first. And
Okay,
after Rakib, Noreen. Okay.
In this picture, ma'am, this is saying that there are something that street performance like, and they're saying that they're actually performing an art where their heads are invisible, where actually their heads are inside of the jacket, and the box in front of them. It says, it's not clear, but it says something offerta or something that I guess it means that offer your offerings or something like that, which we see that in Western countries, or they, after a performance or street performance, they collect money or offerings from the audiences. So this may be something like that.
Wonderful, wonderful, Rakib. Thank you so much. Now, look at the points. Look at the points. Rakib and Mahjabin, they were almost quite similar in terms of mentioning different points or aspects of the picture. They know very, very similar, very close actually. And well, regarding the box and regarding the art or magic or the setting, and well, obviously there were so many things, but maybe there's something else which you can mention. But thank you, Rakib and Mahjabin, both of you. Is there anyone who can mention something else?
Can I say something, ma'am?
Ma'am, I would like to speak something, ma'am.
Okay, let us start with Noreen.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Noreen.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Noreen from Singh. First of all, I would like to say that this picture is amazing. I can see here that when we do something, some people looked at us, some people laughed at us, some people ignore us, or some people criticize us. But we should not care about them. We should do our best of what we should do our best. We should do what we want to do. That's all, ma'am.
Okay, that's wonderful. So Noreen actually else to share. Totally something else to share.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to add something, ma'am.
Yes, of course. But can I give my feedback up to this point, if you permit? May I give you some feedback regarding all these, you know, discussion and the way you try to focus on? Yes. Well, up to this point, well, I'd like to mention one specific thing. And the thing is, well, in terms of describing a picture, up to this point, in terms of describing a picture or in terms of describing something, it's not only about describing a picture. It's not like that. Whenever we are describing something, how can we start? How can we start? Well, how to start? That is one very crucial question, because sometimes, you know, the starting, we may miss the starting and how we can start. For example, the first sentence, how should be the first sentence? Well, we can directly enter into the picture, of course, but before that, it's very important that we start with greetings every time. So whenever we are asked, okay, or requested to speak, then it's always great if we can start with speaking. May I request you to mute your microphones if you're not speaking? Okay, that's great. So whenever we are describing something, actually we should start with greetings and formal greetings, you know, universal greetings, and that's an etiquette. এটা কিন্তু একটা etiquette আসলে। আমরা অনেকে ভাবতে পারি যে আমরা গ্রিট করছি না, কিন্তু আসলে গ্রিট না করাটা না করতে করতে একটা প্র্যাকটিস হয়ে যাবে, and we don't want to practice this kind of thing. Actually we want to practice etiquettes, of course, and this is a very important etiquette to start with greetings and then with your name, of course. So whenever for example, I request you to voluntarily participate, then I expect that you definitely will share your name at the beginning. So after greetings, your name, your full name, your certificate name, of course, and then you can directly enter into the picture. And whenever you would describe, well, we may start this way, that this picture reveals the idea, or this picture explains, or this picture describes, or I mean, there are thousands of ways to describe a picture. Now, very quickly, I would like to move on to the next one. I know that you have almost tried to gather so much regarding that. Now, Very quickly, can you see this picture, this beautiful, colorful picture? Can you see this new picture?
Yes, ma'am, we can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the picture with which we will talk a little now, but before that, let me finish it up. Well, the thing which I wanted to get from you is something else actually, other than this, magic or box or public place or something like this. No one actually mentioned about the weather. What do you think about the weather? Is it a gloomy weather or it's a bright sunny day?
Sunny day.
Yes.
Bright sunny day.
Yes, of course. দেখেন আপনারা কিন্তু জানেন সবকিছু কিন্তু হয়তো মিস হয়ে যায় তাই না এটা যায় কিন্তু আসলে সবাই because we don't practice that much. That is why we miss some time. Well, look at this picture. It's a bright sunny day. And now let me share the original information regarding this picture. Shall I? বলবো ছবিটা কোথায় নেওয়া?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Obviously, ma'am.
Okay, so this is one of my most favorite pictures, and I have actually clicked this photo. Although I'm not a very good photographer, of course not. I can't actually click pictures that well, but still I took this photo, and this was in the famous and popular Vatican City. Have you heard this name before? The place, Vatican City?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. The smallest country in the world.
Yes, of course. This picture is in this picture is from Vatican City. I took the picture on my own, and this is a park actually. This is a park very close to the museum over there, and it's a walking distance actually, a 10-minute walk from the central museum in that city. It's a very small city. I believe you all know this, and yes, of course, it's magic. I was also, amazed to see this kind of magic in front of me for the very first time in Europe. So yes, that was wonderful. And it's a very beautiful city. I would request all of you to visit this city someday. I think you will. Am I right? You would visit the city someday.
Inshallah, ma'am.
Inshallah. And now the second picture. These colorful pictures. Quickly, 1 minute. What do you think of this colorful picture? Okay, so who's going to speak voluntarily? New faces, of course.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I want to try, ma'am.
Yes, of course, sure, Muslima. Please go on.
Which one start first?
Sorry, Muslima.
Am I started, ma'am?
Yes, of course, you can start, Muslima.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I am Muslima Akhtar Mo. Recently, I finished my BBA from National University of Joshua, and I was try to speak the picture about the picture. I think there have some showpieces into any houses or any small any shopping mall or any museum, and the showpiece there have some meaning also. They are so much colorful and variety sizes. I also seen there some of joker, and some of the showpieces have on eyes and some of have two eyes, and it is very nice picture and so much colorful. I basically I like colorful picture, and so
Thank you.
color
Thank
there
you,
have.
Muslima. I got your point. Thank you so much. Now, let us focus on Muslima first. Now, let us look at Muslima. She didn't even bother to speak, although she knows that maybe her sentences had a lot of grammatical errors. Am I right, Muslima? You knew this, that probably you wouldn't be able to speak correctly. Your sentences now would have a lot of errors. Muslima kintu janten je amar prottekta sentence onek bhul bhal hocche hoyto. Muslima kintu janten. Kintu tarporo dekhen Muslima kintu bollen kotha. And that is the beauty of speaking. Believe me, if you restrain yourself actually from speaking, of course you won't be able to speak in future. Now, let me give a little feedback to Muslima and those who are actually at this stage of Muslima. এতক্ষণ ধরে আমি যে ফিডব্যাকটা দিলাম সেটা কিন্তু একরকমের ছিল, মোটামুটি একরকম শুনেছি তাই। And now let us think of Muslima and those who actually are at the level of Muslima. Now, I would suggest Muslima and the other people like Muslima only one point, that please, Muslima, if possible, try to avoid at least one to be verb from these sentences, and that is have has. Instead of have has, try to use the other to be verbs. Am is are, Muslima, আজকে থেকে have has বাদ দিয়ে দেন। এই have has একটা কিন্তু একটা বাজে প্র্যাকটিস আসলে। এই have has টা আমাদের অনেকগুলি বাক্য শুধু শুধু ভুল করে দিচ্ছে। এখানে have has না, ম্যাক্সিমাম জায়গায় have has আসলে লাগে না। We have some specific uses of have has. So from now on, whenever you would speak Muslima, you would focus on only the basic to be verbs, am is are. আপনি তিনটা to be verb নিয়ে আজ থেকে কথা বলবেন এবং লিখবেন। Okay, Muslima?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's great. Wonderful, Muslima. Wonderful observation. She mentioned shopping mall, showpieces, eyes, and lots of other things. Now, is there anyone else who is actually not, similar ideas like Muslima, who's thinking something else?
Can I say something?
Yes, of
Madam,
course.
I understand.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Archana Shaha from Daffodil International University. First of all, this picture is amazing, and I think it has a deep meaning. And we can see here some musical instruments with colorful vibes. Then this can be an exhibition or museum, or can be a shopping mall. And we can see here some jokers with their activities. I think by this they try to show us enjoyment of our life, or kind of this soothing tone, soothing.
That's great. That's great, Archana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for participating in the discussion, Archana. Well, Archana mentioned two other points. Probably it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition, and the other point, probably it could be a museum as well. So look, three ideas: one, shopping mall; number two, exhibition; and then museum. So a lot of ideas, and yes, interesting and colorful. That is the main thing. And maybe if you want, if anyone wants, actually, would you like to mention anything about the material or about the metal that has been used in, in the picture or through the showpieces, whatever you say? Can you guess actually the metal of the showpieces? Anyone? Very quickly.
Glass, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Would you please?
I can speak this picture.
Yes, please unmute your microphones unless I mention your name.
My name is Papumya at Raspberry. This is colorful picture. It has been worked together, and it is showpiece.
Work together. এটা তো হবে হবে।
Okay, so Papu also tried to describe the picture. That's wonderful. But I would also request you the same, like the way I mentioned to Muslima. Okay, please practice, and from now on, actually, before speaking, I would request both Muslima and participants like you to note down some points. Why not, writing down some important points before speaking? Believe me, it always works. অনেকের মধ্যে এই ধারণা থাকে না যে একটা জিনিস পেলেই আমরা কথা বলা শুরু করে দিচ্ছি। আসলে এটা অনেক সময় কিন্তু সুখকর নাও হতে পারে। বিলিভ মি, অনেক সময় এটা সুখকর নাও হতে পারে। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমরা কি করতে পারি? আমরা একটা ছবি দেখে লিখতে পারি। We can write actually before sharing, before speaking, and believe me, that works. So this would be my suggestion to participants like Muslim and Papu, and all the other participants who feel actually that we need to prepare ourselves, before speaking, before formal speaking or something like that, or before attempting in front of an audience. And definitely that may work. Now, we'll have to move a little, fast. That's because we have shortage of time. Now, let me share the, exact information about this picture. Do you want me to share the exact information about this picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
This is also a wonderful picture. I believe that you all would agree with me that this is a wonderful picture. And yes, also I love this picture so much. And actually, I not only love this picture, but also love the place from where I captured the moment. And this particular picture has been taken in Venice. Did you hear the city? Have you heard about this city before?
Yes,
Venice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a city, floating city. Actually. Yes, it's a beautiful city. I must say, it's one of the most beautiful cities I have visited in my life. It's such a wonderful city. And well, this specific picture has been taken in an island. Venice consists a lot of islands. It's a collection of islands, and this specific island is known as Murano. And this Murano and some other islands like Murano, Burano, all these islands are very, very famous over there regarding their glass work. Venice's এই ছোট ছোট আইল্যান্ডগুলি গ্লাস ওয়ার্কের জন্য পৃথিবী বিখ্যাত. And these are also very expensive. And there are a lot of pictures that I took over there. I believe someday you will visit, and then you would share your feelings regarding your visit to Venice. Am I right? Would you like to visit Venice someday?
Yeah, ma'am, inshallah.
Obviously, ma'am.
You should.
Yes, ma'am.
You should. And now what about this? What about this? What do you think about this picture? Think for 1 minute. Think and try. What do you see in the picture? What specific objects can you draw attention to while describing it? And what about this setting? Setting, objects, color. So these are all things, I guess, which can come in your mind, and well, through which you can try to explain or describe it. So now actually I'm going to listen to those who haven't spoken so far.
Ma'am, should I say something?
Ma'am, can I?
Okay, so
Can I speak?
let us start with Johuru.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Johurul Hassan Adil. I am from Sylhet. I am a student of Islamic University. I want to say about this picture. It is a vegetable shop, I think. And there are some vegetable, sweet pumpkin, and some I don't clear this picture behind this picture, and some trees, flower trees. It's eye catching, I think. This picture is very eye catching, and some assistant or some customers are sitting behind this picture. It's about this. It's like a shop, I think. Thank you for chance to speaking. Your class is very interesting, I think. Thank you. Salam.
Thank you. Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, the interesting thing is, well, I also enjoy your speech. Really enjoyed your speech, your observation. Well, there isn't something like this. Well, he couldn't look at the picture carefully. I actually looked at the picture more carefully, and I had a lot of things to say. It's not about what do you see inside the picture, rather actually how you can express yourself. And well, the participant who has just spoken, he tried so hard. দেখেন একটু আগে যিনি কথা বলেন উনি কি চমৎকার করে শুরু করেছেন, এবং আমার কেন যেন মনে হয় উনি চমৎকার করে শেষটাও করতে পারবেন if he gets a little idea. Now, how to end actually? So that is also a question. No? We have got a little idea about how to start speaking when it comes to describe something. Now, how to end? That's also a question. Well, whenever we are approaching towards a conclusion, whenever we are here to end something, it's always great if you can say, if you can include, some connectors. আমরা ইংরেজিতে বলি আসলে কানেক্টর বলতে আমাদের একটা বিশেষ টার্ম আছে ইংরেজিতে। এই কানেক্টর গুলি আসলে খুব ভালো হয় যদি আমরা বাক্যের শুরুতে বা ট্রানজিশনে ব্যবহার করতে পারি। ফর এক্সাম্পল, if we feel that, well, the next sentence would be my last sentence, then well, a very good connector could be finally. যেমন ধরেন আপনি 3টা সেন্টেন্স বলবেন এই ছবিটা দেখে, ফর এক্সাম্পল কথার কথা, তো শেষ বাক্যটা বলবার আগে তার সাথে যদি আমরা জুড়ে দেই ফাইনালি, তার মানে সব শেষে। ফাইনালি I feel that this picture blah 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 etc. So did you get my point, everyone? Using connectors or linking words actually enhance the quality of speaking, and not only speaking but also writing. So did you get the point, I guess? একটু বোঝা গেছে কি আমরা শেষ করতে পারি কিভাবে? আমরা লিংকিং ওয়ার্ড বা কানেক্টর ইউজ করতে পারি। আর লিংকিং ওয়ার্ড বা কানেক্টর গুলি হচ্ছে আসলে ফাইনালি, এট দি এন্ড, ইন কনক্লুশন, এই জাতীয় শব্দ বা ফ্রেজ গুলি।
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear? Okay, that's great. I believe there was someone else. Oh my goodness, a lot of hands. Yes. Whom shall I call? আমি কাকে রেখে কাকে ডাকবো? Okay.
Maybe I raised at first.
Okay, Mamun. Okay, Mamun. So we'll hear Mamun at this moment.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. This is Mohammad Mamun Mrida. I have completed my graduation from Noakhali Science and Technology University under the Department of Business Administration. And if I want to describe the picture, this is obviously a mesmerizing and attractive picture to look. And the picture means a lot of things. At first, the food of this is a picture of a restaurant. And the food of this restaurant is basically produced by very natural way, and they also serve in very natural way from very core materials. And customers obviously fond of taking food from these restaurants. Obviously, I also would be very much glad if one day I can visit the restaurant, and inshallah I will want to know the location of this restaurant through internet or by any means. And one day, inshallah, I will visit this restaurant.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much,
thank
Mamun.
you.
Thank you so much.
Say something?
Yes, of course. But before you, I would like to mention one point that, well, two things actually came already. One participant mentioned that probably it's a shop or vegetable market, and Mamun mentioned that probably it's a restaurant. Anything else that you would like to share, anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, of course. And the last one. The last one.
I want to share them.
Yes, of course.
There have some apple leaves also, and the picture is very natural. Also, there have some restaurant and picture, and somebody was cooking also.
Okay, Muslima, I have just requested you to please, avoid have. Muslima have বাদ দিয়ে দিতে হবে। শুধু এই have এর কারণে কিন্তু আসলে খুব বাধছে। তার মানে আসলে properly আসছে না।
Okay,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All of you are right, actually. There's nothing wrong over here. Because I wanted you to guess the picture. Tell us something after guessing. So it's not that you are right, you are wrong, someone is right, the other one is wrong. It's not like that. It's about how you can express, okay, how you can express something, how we can explain something, how we can describe something. Now, let me share the fact about this picture because we don't have much time. Now, let me share the origin of this picture. As Mamun mentioned that he also wants to visit this restaurant in future, but Mamun, this is not a restaurant at all. This is not a restaurant. Yes, of course. This is not a shop. This is not a vegetable market at all. So nothing, not a restaurant, shop, and it's neither a vegetable market nor something else. Rather, this picture actually is what? This is about a festival. Did it come to your mind, anyone? কেউ কি ভেবেছে যেটা একটা ফেস্টিভ্যালের ছবি? No. Maybe not. তাই না? This picture actually is from a famous festival. And of course, from the picture, you can get the idea that we can see a huge pumpkin over here. Huge, it's a huge pumpkin. And from this specific point of view, I believe we all can guess that maybe this festival is about what? কি মনে হচ্ছে আপনাদের এটা কিসের ফেস্টিভ্যাল? এটা একটা ফেস্টিভ্যাল, উৎসব, কিন্তু কিসের সেটা? Any guesses? Pumpkin festival. This is one of the famous festivals of কোথাকার ফেস্টিভ্যাল এটা? এটা হচ্ছে Russia. And this specific picture actually is from the capital. And what is the capital of Russia? Tell me. Tell me, what is the capital of Russia?
Moscow.
Russia.
Moscow.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for mentioning. So this picture actually is from Moscow. This is from Moscow. And yes, of course, once again, Moscow is one of my most favorite cities and that I have visited so far. And this is one of the famous festivals over there. And these huge pumpkins have been brought over here by the farmers, far away from the capital. And we all know that Russia is a huge country. It has huge amount of land. And the farmers, the people who carried these pumpkins over here in this specific festival, actually, they came across a long distance, And it was so wonderful. This festival actually happens every year in autumn. So I would actually request all of you to visit this festival someday in future, because in this festival, you would be able to see Furnitures also, which are made of pumpkins. Furniture made of pumpkins. Isn't it interesting? What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. This is
Yes,
the,
it
I
sounds.
think this is a Halloween festival. This is famous in Europe and the Western country. They
Yes,
wait for a
yes, but
couple
this
of,
is not Halloween. This is not about Halloween, dear. This has nothing to do with Halloween, but this is only a pumpkin festival where actually farmers, show that how efficient they are in terms of producing pumpkins all throughout the country. So that is the main thing. It doesn't have a connection with Halloween. Someday
okay,
we
ma'am.
will talk. Someday we will talk about Halloween. আমরা কোনো একদিন আবার Halloween নিয়ে আলাপ করবো, okay? Of course. Now, well, let me get into some details. Now, look at this image very quickly as we don't have much time. Now, whenever we are here to describe a picture, this is how we can start. এবার দেখেন আমি লিখে দিয়েছি কিন্তু এখানে. There are some points which have been noted down here. For example, how to start. After greetings and your name, you can say this way. You can start this way. In the picture, I can see. দেখেন এভাবে শুরু করা যায়. এই ছবিতে আমি দেখছি, in the picture I can see, তারপর কি দেখছেন সেটা বলছেন. Number 2, there are, for example, you can say there are a lot of objects in the picture. এভাবে বলা যেতে পারে, শুরু করা যেতে পারে. And the second point, say what's happening with the present continuous. That is important. দেখেন খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা পয়েন্ট কিন্তু. Well, if we feel that there's something happening in the picture, then we should focus on present continuous tense. Something in present continuous tense definitely would enhance your speaking skills. Definitely would enhance your description. And the third point, where in the picture, the place actually. For example, if I show you a picture of an apple, at the center of a table, then obviously how would you explain that apple? Well, you would definitely say that I can see an apple which is at the center of the table. So position of the objects is also important while describing pictures. And finally, if something isn't clear, like the way one of the participants today mentioned, I'm very sorry, I forgot your name. One of the participants mentioned that it's not that clear. So how to say this? If you feel that, ma'am, there's something unclear in the picture, then how to mention that? Well, we can start this way. It looks like, মানে ধরেন এটা আপেলের মতো দেখাচ্ছে কিন্তু আপেল না, কারণ আপেল আমরা সবাই চিনি, কিন্তু আমি জানি না এটা কোন ফল, কিন্তু আপেলের মতন দেখাচ্ছে, তাহলে আমি কি বলবো? আমাকে বলতে হবে. So we can start this way. It looks like an apple, although it doesn't completely reveal the picture of an apple. Yeah, so this is how we can proceed. Now, the next strategy which I would like to focus is on debating, and I would request all of you to focus on this as well. I don't know whether you have, your friends around you or not, but if you have your friends around you at your home or at your, educational institutions, well, obviously this is one of the most wonderful and effective techniques to enhance your speaking skills. Believe me, it works. Debating is such an exclusive way to enhance your speaking and presentation skills, because there are, always two sides of something, of an issue, always two sides of an issue. Yeah. And well, obviously we can speak alternately, and this is how we can improve. দেখেন ডিবেট কিন্তু একটা মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে, এটা অল্টারনেটলি কথা বলা যায়। হ্যাঁ, একটা অল্টারনেটিভ ওয়ে অফ স্পিকিং। আমার ফ্রেন্ড বলছেন পক্ষে, আমিও পক্ষে আছি, কিন্তু আমি বলছি বিপক্ষে। Why? Because I'm practicing. So practicing is important. Thinking, organizing, practicing. Thinking, organizing, and then practicing, and then delivering. So please don't forget the first two stages, thinking and noting down the important points, which is organization of ideas. So these two are important before producing something. And debating is an interesting way actually, because it includes so many things, like the way these style, speed, tone, volume. আমরা অনেকে আছে না যে ভলিউম চাইলেও বাড়ে না, খেয়াল করে দেখেন গলার ভলিউম বাড়ছে না, এর সাথে কনফিডেন্সের একটা রিলেশনশিপ আছে, knowledge related of course, but still we can practice, you know, to raise our volume, because volume speaks. Clarity is important. আমতা আমতা করে আ উ করে আমি সমানে বলে যাচ্ছি, well obviously it won't be clear in front of the audience, it won't serve the purpose. So I need to clarify actually, and using notes and eye contact. So eye contact is also so important. Looking at, you know, the audience's eyes, through them actually I'm speaking. So debating is such a wonderful thing, such a wonderful thing. And finally, I'd like to mention TED Talks. I believe you all know about TED Talks, and these TED Talks are very, very, you know, effective. And the research has proved that those who practice TED Talks, they are very good speakers. Believe me, they're very good speakers. It's not about English or Bangla or Spanish or French. It's about how we can speak. Even if you feel that, ma'am, I practice TED Talk in Bangla, then obviously you have very good Bangla speaking skills, of course. So TED Talk is something very important. They are personal most of the time. They often take us on a journey and they are concise. So these three are the important points when we think of TED Talks. এগুলি সাধারণত ব্যক্তিগত জার্নি হয়ে থাকে টেড টক গুলি। আমি জানি আপনারা হয়তো অনেক শুনেছেন আমার মতন, এবং আমরা দেখেছি যে টেড টক গুলি খুবই কনসাইজ হয়, মানে খুব গুছানো হয়। সো নিজের জার্নি কিন্তু গুছানো। I don't think that this is very easy. It requires efforts. It definitely requires effort. So for this, we need to practice. And before practicing, of course, we need to listen to TED Talks more and more. And this is how we can also practice. We can prepare a 2-minute presentation on a topic of my own interest. I mean, a 2-minute presentation on anything. For example, you may say, ma'am, I'm very interested in, you know, books, novels, more specifically, or I'm very interested in sports. So why don't you prepare a presentation, 2-minute presentation on your favorite sport? এটা কিন্তু কোনো বিষয় নাই, আপনার স্পোর্ট ভালো লাগে কোনটা, ক্রিকেট, ঠিক আছে, আমি ক্রিকেটের উপর 2 মিনিট কথা বলি, কিন্তু 2 মিনিট কথা বলবার আগে I need preparation. What kind of preparation? For example, these 3 points. I need to have an introduction. I need to have some main points, at least 2. And obviously, I need to have a conclusion. So this is how I can prepare myself. And at the end, I'd like to, you know, mention 2 things with you. The first one actually is a link of a platform, Facebook page, which is Global Classroom 2020. This is a platform which actually I'm engaged through Facebook. I got this invitation. I got this request to, you know, and give my students over there. So, well, this is a wonderful platform to which you can engage yourself. And here, actually, you would get a lot of information about how to enrich your skills, not only speaking, but also several other skills. And I believe you would be able to regularly attend sessions, and you'll be able to get even training if you want. So this is a wonderful platform. The title of this group page is Global Classroom 2020. And the other one is the English practice session of the American Center, Dhaka, Bangladesh. This is also a wonderful practice session, you know. They usually have 2 sessions every week, one on Sunday and the other one is on Thursday. 2 sessions every week, and believe me, you would enjoy these sessions, of course, because there are wonderful facilitators over there. Earlier, I used to take 2 sessions for this American Center, but now these days, actually, I don't have time. That is why I only take 1 session every month. I also conduct 1 session for the American Center, Dhaka, Bangladesh over there. So I believe platforms like this would definitely help you enrich your skills. So that was all from my part, and this is how I can be reached. If you want to reach me, well, these are the ways through which we can be in touch with each other. এটা আমার গুগল সাইট প্রোফাইল, আপনারা দেখতে পারেন। পরেরটা হচ্ছে আমার ড্যাফোডিলের প্রোফাইল, তারপরে আমার আছে আমার ফেসবুক প্রোফাইল, এবং ফাইনালি আমার লিঙ্কডইন প্রোফাইল। So you can click any one, and if you want to get in touch with me. So that was all from my part. Thank you, everyone. Now, yes, of course, questions. And I don't know who's going to moderate these questions to session part. Is there someone from the foundation who's going to moderate this question answer session, or, well, participants can ask a question now.
Yes, participant can ask the question.
Ma'am, I want to ask a question.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Please ask. Please ask. Who's going to ask?
And how we... Have you heard me, ma'am?
Yes, now I can hear you, Amit. Unclear, Amit.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, you at the beginning of the video, you you tell 3 specific ideas to enhance our English speaking skills. First is describing a picture, and another 2. My question is, what are the another's 2?
The 2 ways which I
Another
have just
2 things.
mentioned.
What
Yes.
is...
Yes, the 2 things that I have just mentioned. One is debating, and the third one is TikTok.
Okay, madam. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Can I add something?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. My question is, usually we feel nervous to ask questions or tell something to others. And if it is in English, then the nervousness will increase 1,000 times. How can we overcome our fear of English to speak something or to tell something or to ask something to others? Thank you, ma'am.
The best way is the way you are practicing at this moment. Now look at this, Noreen. Am I right? You are Noreen?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Noreen, the way you ask this question, well, you'll have to actually overcome the fear this way. Forget about your errors. Forget about those, huge errors, or I mean, the attitude of the, facilitator, or forget about the expression of your friends or your batchmates. Forget about everything. You just simply ask your question, because the question actually, which has thousands of errors today, would be definitely resolved if you continue asking questions this way. Believe me. আজকে আপনি এই যে আমাকে কোয়েশ্চেন করছেন নরি, অনেক ভুলভাল আছে প্রশ্নের মধ্যে, তারপরও করেছেন না সাহস করে?
জি ম্যাম।
এই তো এভাবে করে যেতে হবে নরিন। তার মানে কি, I don't care actually what the other people are thinking about my question, about my English. I don't care, because I need to develop. And if I want to develop, I'll have to ask questions, because through feedback from the facilitators or from the teachers, definitely I would get something through which I'm going to improve. Well, the very first thing, the only thing actually, not first and last, but the only thing which I would like to mention, Noreen, to you is that forget about errors, and please start asking questions. And at the same time, if possible, Noreen, try to write down the question first. That would definitely help you a bit more. That would give you a confidence a bit more. সত্যি বলছি, যদি একটু লিখে বলা যায় না নরিন, দেখবেন অটোমেটিক্যালি কনফিডেন্সও বেড়ে গেছে, আর ছোট্ট একটা ভুল কম হলেও কিন্তু হবে। ওকে নরিন?
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions?
Ma'am, can
I ask you a question?
সবাই করেন বাবারা, সবাই করেন।
Can I ask a question?
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for being with us. My question is, how much we should be careful in grammatical point when we are doing general conversation?
A very good question indeed. Very good question. Well, you don't need to worry about your grammatical errors that much when you are in a setting which is not a formal one. Believe me, if it's not a formal setting, you don't need to worry about the grammar errors that much. But, well, if you are in a formal setting, like if you are in front of a Viva board, then what to do actually? তাই না? এখন আমি বললাম যে informal setting এ কাজী জান্নাতুন নাইমকে নাইম, you don't need to worry about your grammar errors that much. But whenever you are facing an interview board or a Viva board, then obviously we tend to be a bit more formal because the setting is formal and the context demands actually formality from us. So even if we are afraid of, grammar errors, still we'll have to have a kind of a smile in our face, and we can start properly and we can end properly. And yes, of course, we can convey the ideas with little grammar errors, of course. And well, I believe that it's acceptable, a certain amount of grammar errors would be acceptable if you have that kind of confidence that I have the knowledge, or I know the topic very well, which I'm going to answer. So two things actually. You will have to have enough idea about the topic on which you are going to talk about. এখন আমি বললাম আপনাদের যে ভুল বলা যায়, আসলে প্রচুর গ্রামার ভুল করা যায়, অসুবিধা নাই। কিন্তু গ্রামার ভুল কখন করা যায়? যখন যে বিষয়ে আমি কথা বলছি সেই বিষয়ে পর্যাপ্ত জ্ঞান আমার আছে, এতটাই জ্ঞান আমার আছে যে আমি ডেলিভারি ভুলভাল ইংরেজির মধ্য দিয়েও দিতে পারবো। এবার আপনি বিবেচনা করে দেখেন কিভাবে আপনি কানেকশন ঘটাবেন। So subject knowledge is very important, and apart from that, a very good start, introduction, conclusion is very important.
I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
I want to say about higher study.
Ma'am,
IELTS is very important for higher study, and every
louder your voice a bit.
Want to say every foreign university
a bit more louder.
Higher educational institution want to higher quality of English to achieve Fulbright scholarship, which is the main obstacle of a student to achieve this goal. I want to say, please describe the easy way to achieve Fulbright education.
Well, I got your question. Probably you're talking about what about the IELTS or TOEFL score? How much English do we need to actually know to get this scholarship, or is there any other ways to get these scholarships? Any easier ways to get this scholarship? No, of course not. Well, believe me, there isn't any other ways other than getting into IELTS or TOEFL. Because if you want to get a scholarship for your higher studies, obviously you have to have a certain amount of, English fluency. Of course, that's important. And there isn't any other options actually other than this. But if you don't want to avail a scholarship, that's a different issue. You can, try at some universities, even without the IELTS or TOEFL scores. But I'm not sure about that. But according to my knowledge, well, of course, you need a certain level of fluency in terms of getting into a scholarship program.
Ma'am, I have another question.
Yes.
Ma'am,
এটা আমরা শেষ করি এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা দিয়ে।
Hello.
Yes, this is last.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, hello. I always translate English from Bengali when I speak in English. But how can I think in English and express my thoughts and ideas in English?
A very good question indeed. But why do you want to think in English? It's not possible. It's not possible because we are not, born in an English society. We are born in such a society where Bangla is the language. We are surrounded with Bengali people. No, every time. Our parents are from Bangla background, so it's not possible to think in English. Even if you say that, ma'am, I have studied French for 5 years, still then It's not possible to think in French. এই পরিবেশে জন্ম হয়নি, যেটা আমার মাতৃভাষা না, সেই ভাষায় আমি আসলে সাধারণত চিন্তা করতে পারি না। সহজ কথা, we can't dream in English. এই যে আমরা প্রতিদিন ঘুমাই, স্বপ্ন দেখি, কার কার স্বপ্নে ইংরেজিতে কথা বলি আমরা? কতজন? একজনও না। It's not possible. Why? Because our mother tongue is not English. We don't need to think in English. The thing is, we need to actually translate, like the way you mentioned. That is wonderful. Whenever you have something in front of you, obviously try to translate the idea. Translation, okay, shifting, switching from mother tongue to English or to the target language is important, and you are on the right track. আপনি যা করছেন এখন সঠিক কাজটা করছেন। তার মানে ভাষা থেকে আমার টার্গেট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে হতে হবে এবং আপনি সেটাই করছেন, and that is wonderful. But this shifting also requires, you know, something else. আমাদের এই শিফটিং এর জন্য কিন্তু একটু কাজ করতে হয়। Definitely we need to listen more. কান দিয়ে প্রচুর শুনতে হবে, ভালো মন্দ মিলিয়ে। যে বেশি কান দিয়ে শুনে সেই বেশি বলতে পারে, যে কিছুই শোনে না, নাক মুখ চোখ কান বন্ধ করে বসে আছে, সে কিছু বলতেও পারবে না। That is the point. So thank you so much everyone.